Here we are for another episode of Discovering Auto Treasures. And we're at a new location here at Mitch's place. We're going to see some of his award-winning cars. So Mitch, tell us a little bit about when you started to get involved in cars and how many years you've been building.
Well, it was basically 2000 that I started building them. Started the pickup first, and it took about 7 years to get it done. And in the meantime, I started the car too, and the car took 9 years to build.
So were you involved in the designs and all that kind of stuff and help on the vehicles yourself?
Yes, I went over it with Mike, who was the guy that did all the work. We discussed everything pretty much on a daily basis. And I had pretty good ideas what I wanted before we started. And I was at a show one time, and there was a guy there that was doing car designs. And I said to him, if I tell you what I want to do to a 40 Ford Coupe, can you draw it for me? And he did. And that's what we hung on Mike's wall when we were building it.
Right, awesome. Now, in the background behind us, we have your truck here. Tell us a little bit about the truck. What year is this?
It's a 1948 Ford pickup, and probably the main reason why I picked it for my first vehicle. It's the first thing that I ever drove when I was a kid.
Oh, awesome.
My dad had one, and he showed me how to drive it when I was about 10 years old.
Okay, Mitch, underneath this your truck of yours, the undercarriage is all chromed and everything is put together so wonderfully. Why don't you point out a few things here and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the engine is a 5.4 liter Lightning engine out of a Ford Lightning pickup.
Yes.
And it's got aftermarket electronics on it, so it makes close to 500 horsepower. What we did is we chromed part of the thing and painted it so that there was not just straight chrome, so that it had some look to it.
All four-wheel disc brakes, big ones, I noticed.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we basically tried to hide as much as we could, and anything that we couldn't hide, we made sure that it was done nice and neat.
Right on. The prettiness of this undercarriage is a lot of people never see it, and it makes it nice to show this off because this is half of the car. This is where all the time was spent. Awesome. Well, why don't we bring the truck down now and we'll have a look at the rest of the truck.
Okay. The upholstery was all done by Elgin at Capricorn Upholstery in town. And one of the funny things when we were doing that, I said, I want the floor done in leather. And he said to me, you're never going to drive this truck, are you? I said, yeah, I am. And I said, I'm going to need a place for my slippers. So he made me a place for my slippers.
Good idea. Wow, and the gauges?
And the gauges, they're classic instruments, and the reason there's so many gauges, of course, because I'm used to Class 8 trucks that have all the gauges in them, so I put every gauge that I could buy inside here.
And you got electric windows, electric seats, everything is electric. Air conditioning, everything, eh?
And the seat is a custom seat that I bought from Minnesota. It was designed for a truck. Yeah. And it's, even though it is a bench seat, it does look like it's buckets.
Like buckets, yeah. Right on. So Mitch, the front of your truck, it sits very nicely low like this, and it's done so well. Special headlights?
Yes, we found special lights for it, but other than that, we got rid of the bumper, closed all those holes in, made a special opening for the license plate, and we took the emblem off the hood and off the sides of the hood, just try to clean that up a bit.
Right on, looks fantastic. So why don't you lift the hood up here and show us the motor you got on here? So Mitch, why don't you just explain a little bit about the motor and tell me what's all going on in there? It looks pretty full.
Well, the motor that's in here, as you know, every once in a while Ford made a pickup that they called the Lightning, and they put a special motor in it.
Right.
So this is out of a 2003. It's a 5.4 liter with the blower that's on it actually came from Ford that way, and the transmission that went with it is still behind it. So it came as a unit, we put it in.
And you said this puts out around 500 horses?
Yes, with the aftermarket electronics on it.
Wow, fantastic.
And all the electronics for the motor are actually under the seat.
Under the seat, and you wired that all in yourself again?
Yeah, I like wiring. So
yeah, he likes wiring. He's really wired. Okay, Mitch, now we got your new vehicle that you've been working on. And this one apparently was an 8-year build.
Yes, it took 8 years to put it together.
Describe the car.
It's a 1940 Ford Business Coupe. There's a sedan,
Okay.
a 2-door and a 4-door sedan,
Right?
and there's also just a coupe. The Business Coupe, as you notice, has the extra window on the side.
Oh,
It has
yes.
a bigger back, so it was basically designed for a businessman to carry all his samples in there.
Awesome.
Wasn't a seat back there. There was just lots of room.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really recognize the difference in that, but I understand what you're saying, yeah. So why don't we have a look at the undercarriage?
Sure.
All I can say is, Mitch, the undercarriage of this car is like a painting.
A lot of it is Steve Brandt had a nook. You know, he had the ability to do this stuff. Not only build it, but design it too. So as you can see, the frame here was all modified for independent rear suspension. And this is a Winter's quick change rear end. But the actual suspension that you see on both sides is a one-off. Steve made that on his CNC machine.
Wow.
There's not another one like that in the world. Made the license plate fold up, but I also made use of that space back there. Hooked my battery from there, and also there's a manual door release and a manual trunk release, because everything on this car is controlled electronically. And if you look underneath here, you won't see any wires or any hoses or anything. That was part of the build, was to make sure that everything was hidden.
So anybody that builds cars would understand what you're talking about and the amount of work that goes into building something like
yeah,
this.
and once again, Steve's ability to design. I mean, if you're using a CNC machine, you only get off at what the guy can put into the
Right
computer
on,
to make
yeah.
it. Most cars that I've seen, the trunk is totally upholstered. And it's looked to me like, you know, they did everything else and said, oh, we haven't done the trunk.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just upholster it. So right from the start, I wanted to have the trunk looking nice.
Have some
So
paint.
these round interior inside fenders are actually 2 outside fenders that were used to make those in.
Wow.
And of course, there's lots of wires down underneath here. And this was all closed in too to hide all the wires.
Well, first of all, who did your upholstery and how long did it take you to do all the wiring that's hidden?
Once again, Elgin from Capricorn did the upholstery in it.
Yes.
The seats are custom seats, but he reupholstered them. And all the panels that the upholstery is on, even the headliner, it's all fiberglass. I didn't want any switches or anything showing of the 3 buttons on the dash, but there's a panel underneath here that opens up, and it has the ignition in it, the headlights, the emergency brake, and the wipers.
You got everything's electric. You like electric windows,
Yes,
power brakes, power steering,
yes.
air conditioning, the
Yes.
whole ball of wax.
Even the brakes in this thing are electric.
Fantastic job. Well, why don't we maybe open up the hood and we'll have a look at the motor.
Okay.
Okay, Mitch, now this is the motor. What size motor is this in here now?
It's a Boss 302, which Ford remade the Boss block. You could buy it, and it was a Siamese block, so you could really bore it out and stroke it. So we bored it out and stroked it to 338 cubic inches, and on the dyno it put out 400 horsepower.
400 horsepower.
Now it's totally electronic. The Ingles fuel injection system, the electronic part of it is Fast, is the name of the company. Everything on it is electronic. 8-stack fuel injection system, and we hit all the wires. Even the spark plug wires.
There's not one wire that I can see.
No, the spark plug wires are in that stainless steel tube there, and the coils for them are actually underneath the passenger seat.
Wow,
And
what a job.
all the computers are underneath the driver's seat. And this was done on a CNC machine, this V8 emblem was done on a CNC machine again.
And it's sunk right into the body.
Made it look like it's right in the body, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, Mitch, looking at the side of your car, I remember when I saw that drawings that you went through, that you rounded the top of the roof down a bit.
Well, actually, we kept the windows the same size because I don't think these cars look good with a chopped top.
Right.
But we changed the roof. The original Ford had quite a big bubble in the roof. Yeah. We sloped the windshield back and made all the windows so that they're surface mounted, as they are in new cars, and so that actually changed the way the back windows set too.
Wow.
And we actually found curved black glass for the back windows. The original Ford had flat glass in it, and they used a big fat rubber to take up the slack, whereas ours are mounted right on the surface. So we actually found curved windows that would fit.
You could cut and fit.
And the hood itself, remember the hood on them was quite large, quite high up. So we pancaked the hood, and then when you do that, it makes the front look too wide, so we've narrowed the front of the hood in too.
Now your rims on here, are they special order?
Well-
They look a little different than anything I've seen.
The wheels are actually Boyd Coddington wheels, but Boyd Coddington had passed away, and I contacted his son in California, and he said he could still get the wheels for me.
Well, Mitch, this has been a hell of a show, I gotta tell you, and thank you very much for allowing us to come out here to your garage and look at your wonderful award-winning vehicles. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who build cars, and they know how much work went into these, and they'll appreciate this show. So thanks again for allowing us to come out here.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you guys here, and as I hope I explained, stuff like this can't be done by one person.
That's right,
It
that's for
takes
sure.
people that have a lot of talent to do it.
Yeah, it's been a fun day, and all I can say is this has been another edition of Discovering Auto Treasures. So just keep on collecting and keep on building, and thank you for watching.